What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It's Ron here. If you guys are hanging out with me for the first time, do your boy a favor, go ahead and drop a like for the video and definitely subscribe to the channel. So guys, I've gotten a lot of questions regarding one of my previous videos. I shared a little bit of my M1 finance portfolio and I was showing you guys what some of the things that I'm invested in. And we spent a lot of time replying. I spent a lot of time replying back to comments regarding SCHD within the holdings that I had. And so a lot of people are worried about what is going on with SCHD. This is a Schwab ETF, and this is one of my favorite ETFs. And for whatever reason, this one was, popular enough to just garner so many different comments. So I figured I'd just go ahead and create a dedicated video to just talking about what's going on with SCHD, what am I doing with SCHD, and what are my plans for the future. So first off, SCHD, for those of you guys who are not aware, I got my laptop here with me. I want to share some information with you guys. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is that this is the SCHD profile. Now I want you guys to understand that all index eligible stocks must have maintained at least 10 consecutive years of dividend payments. They must have a minimum float adjusted market capitalization of $500 million, and they must also meet minimum liquidity criteria. So all of this information, all of this pretty much lets you know what the minimum criteria is for a company to even be considered within the SCHD ETF, right? So now I know a lot of people are concerned with what the Fed is doing with interest rates and how these interest rates are affecting companies, and many companies are seeing their profit margins negatively affected by this. The good thing, though, when it comes to some of these stocks, because some stocks are headed downward and we've seen a lot of loss in the stock market, some of these stocks that are actually headed down are actually creating great opportunities. And I want to talk to you guys about that today. So SCHD, for those of you guys who don't know, this is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. And I showed my portfolio previously, and you guys, for whatever reason, gravitated to SCHD. And so in this video, I want to talk to you about why it's going down, but why this could actually be very, very good news for us, right? So if we kind of just scroll down, this is my M1 finance portfolio. If we scroll down, you can see here that SCHD is on the bottom. And so I'm currently invested into the SCHD Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. And it is down right now. But it really depends on the time frame that you're looking at SCHD. Because, for example, if we look at SCHD on a one-day chart, it looks like it's up. Hopefully you guys can see that. But if we looked at SCHD on a 6-month chart, it looks like SCHD is down. So it really depends on the time frame that you're looking at it. Now let's go ahead and change that time frame to, say, 3 years. SCHD is up if you invested in it 3 years ago. Lastly, if we look at the all-time history of SCHD, SCHD started in 2012. So if you were invested from 2012 to today, you would have had a significant gain, because back in 2012, you could have purchased SCHD for $25 a share. Today, it is $71.79. Now, one really good thing about SCHD is that it pays a dividend. And the dividend that it pays, I'm actually looking for it, it's like 3.2%, 3.6%. And so the dividend that it's paying is actually very, very good. In fact, the dividend it pays is, as we can see, is fairly reliable. I mean, if we look at the criteria of the companies that are in SCHD, these are companies that are, they've been paying a dividend for at least 10 years without any interruption. And if you look at the top 10 holdings of SCHD, these are no small companies. We're talking about companies along the lines of, Pepsi, Merck, Coca-Cola, Broadcom, Home Depot, Verizon. These are not small companies. Cisco, Amgen, Chevron. These are the top 10 holdings for SCHD. And so with these types of holdings, we're working with some top-notch companies. We're not working with some run-of-the-mill super tiny companies that are not showing any kind of profits and they're brand new. These companies have history. And you figure, if the SCHD ETF has a minimum criteria of 10 years of consistent dividend payments, then you figure, okay, the youngest company in the list couldn't be any younger than 10 years old. So again, these are not high risk companies in my personal opinion. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, do your own research. So you might be asking yourself, okay, if I want to invest in SCHD, for example, where can I go to purchase or invest in SCHD, right? Well, several different platforms. You can jump on TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, Tasty Trade, Fidelity Investments, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, you name it. Any of these brokers can definitely allow you to invest in SCHD if that's what you want to do. But again, I'm a big fan of SCHD. I've analyzed it myself, and for me, I think it's a good buy. And the good thing about SCHD is because they pay such a strong dividend, and in fact, one of the main reasons why I buy SCHD is for the dividend, right? As the stock gets cheaper, I'm looking at this as good news. Why? Because the dividend yield gets better, and I get to buy the same stock with the same companies in it for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And so, what happens when SCHD just, if SCHD was to completely just crash and, go down to like $20 a share, what would I do? Would I sell everything? No, not at all. I would likely buy more. I would back the truck up and just buy more SCHD. That's just my own personal take. Like I said, we've already gone into the types of companies that are in SCHD, and this is something that, the rich teach their children, that a lot of people aren't necessarily privy to. When you see the stock market going down, you tend to allow it to affect you emotionally, and I'm not immune to it either. But I think one thing that the rich teach their kids is that they teach their kids when the stock market goes down, if the company is still solid, then the company is on sale and it's probably a great buying opportunity. And that's how I'm looking at it. And this is one of the reasons why I started this this passive income dividend growth investment strategy, simply for the fact of the matter that normally I would let the stock market going down affect my mood negatively. But when you invest in dividends and you understand how the dividends work and how they are paying you, you realize that when the stock market's going down, you're able to get better deals on the companies that pay the dividends. And so the dividends, the yields on these dividends become even higher. And so I almost, instead of panicking when the stock market crashes, I almost get excited when the stock market crashes. So, I just want to send a personal thank you to SCHD for that one. But in all seriousness, so I'm a big fan. I'm going to keep investing in SCHD. I'm not going to get shaken out of this thing. I'm going to keep buying more of it. I like the ETF. I wouldn't buy it. It wouldn't be in my portfolio if I didn't like it. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on this one. I just wanted to share my thoughts and sentiment on SCHD. And if you guys have any questions for me, hit me up in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and let me know if you want me to cover other stocks or ETFs that you are considering or have an interest in. So drop a like for the video, consider subscribing, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.